What do you think, my life? 5 kgs? 4.5?
About 4.
About 4 kgs.
Nice.
After an amazing 3 days in Matusadona, it's time to leave the national park, head up the escarpment and off to Chirundu. So the road heading back, as I suspected, is much drier now, so it's a little bit easier to navigate. Going down took us about 3 hours. Coming up took us a bit less than 3 hours. I think largely because we sort of were more familiar with the road this time and it was drier as well. We were going a bit slowly because, you know, we took the opportunity here and there to film as well on the way out. The road's not bad. You know, it's not an easy road, but it's definitely traversable. Even after the rain has done a bit of damage to it, it's still traversable with the four-wheel drive. So we're back on what is a main thoroughfare tarred road. This is the A1 to the Chirundu border post. The road from Matusadona was mostly gravel road. The last, I'd say, maybe 60 kilometers or so was tarred road. Some of that was new road, which was very nice. Some of it was old road, which had been resurfaced, which was quite nice. And some of it was old road, which hadn't been properly patched up. So some of those spots weren't that great, but still pretty good to drive on tar road. We're managing to drive at 100 kilometers an hour quite consistently. So it's a pretty decent road so far. Not a lot of traffic. It is Christmas Day. Looking forward to arriving at our next destination. We're going to get there in the dark, but it'll be great to be on the Zambezi River. We haven't been on the river yet. We've been on Lake Kariba all this time. So for the first time, we'll actually be on the Zambezi River and looking forward to it. This is our first destination on the lower Zambezi River. Certainly the drive out of Matusadona and all the way to the tar road took longer than we had anticipated, or longer than it seems like if you just look at the map. However, that is the nature of the adventure. You know, we're driving in very rural areas, very remote from urban centers, and yeah, as I said, it's part of the adventure. We've been through a few roadblocks along the way, but up to now it's been pretty easy going. No issues so far. So far until now. All right. So we're about 15 kilometers from Chirundu, and we were stopped at a police roadblock. The police officer in uniform that was manning the roadblock let us through, but a gentleman in civilian clothing stopped and said we must produce our TIP, temporary import permit, which we did produce, which is in my significant other's name, and he insisted that it's illegal for me to be driving even though she's in the vehicle, and that this is a criminal offense for which we should be arrested, or that she should be arrested for this, that there's no fine, it's a criminal offense, and that if we go to the revenue authority's office, that we'll pay a huge fine, and that if the car is stolen while I'm driving it, then insurance won't cover it, even though I do have the insurance document that obviously indicates otherwise, because the car is insured and we have a border letter to head into Zimbabwe and Botswana as well. This conversation, not really a conversation, more a monologue on his part, went on for a long time, with him reiterating his authority and that he's also a parks and wildlife official, and that he does anti-poaching amongst other things. You know, and then he said, okay, what should we do as a team? How should we resolve this? At which point I indicated that, you know, we are in his hands. He's the officer of the law. And I think that's the police lady.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
And you know, I indicated, okay, look, you know, we're in your hands. And he said, no, what should we do? You know, what are we supposed to do? It's unclear what he was getting at. Of course, I'm not sure what exactly he was hinting at. But you know, that sort of back and forth went on for a little bit, and you know, I indicated, look, We appreciate that he's pointed out to us what the legal requirements are, and he said we need an affidavit for me to drive the car, which my significant other should have filled out, or that this should be filled out on the TIP. When we did the TIP registration, there was nothing to indicate that, and at no point have we been stopped by anybody else who has insisted on that. So, you know, and we've been through a number of roadblocks, police roadblocks, and obviously we've driven through the border itself, border gate, through the Zimra officials and all the rest of it. So yeah, long story short, he then said he was going to go and speak to his colleagues to see what he could negotiate, and he went off and they had a chat, and then he came back.
The same thing that you should be arrested, but at the same time, if we disagree to agree that maybe we can give you a benefit of doubt. But the bottom line is that you should have an update. Your wife should write an update. Can I have your driver's license?
And then he said, okay, he's had a chat to his colleagues and they've negotiated this, and they've agreed to give us the benefit of the doubt, and that we should get an affidavit and all the rest of it. So yeah, that was the kind of the sum total in short of that conversation. So I don't know what that meant, or what the indication was there, or whether there was some kind of expectation. But yeah, we had a long discussion. We thanked him for his giving us knowledge of the law, and we're back on the road again. Finally arrived quite late at where we're staying, which is Chirundu Safari Lodge. Campsites are called Zambezi, and yeah, it's completely dark. However, we got here. It was a bit difficult actually finding the place because there are no signposts. Google Maps doesn't take you to the place itself. However, Maps.me does take you to the place, sort of. Anyway, we're here. We got through a weird roadblock. Weird. And now it's time to make something to eat and hit the sack. So, good night. See you tomorrow. Nice to wake up to the sounds of birds and hippos basking on the sandbanks. It's great to be back on the mighty Zambezi. A number of people out on the river already. Our plan for today, however, is to just settle into camp and relax a bit. A quick dash to town to get some supplies, and then back to camp to enjoy the sunset.
You're having a Zambezi on the Zambezi. Cheers. This is cool.
This is cool. After a really chill day one, it's day two, up nice and early today. And the agenda for today is to get on the river and do some fishing.
Okay, what was again? There ain't no nets, can you believe it? Bring it quickly! Nice!
Yeah.
Nice.
First tiger on the lower Zambezi. Not a bad one. Got a decent size.
I'll say. Nice one, my love.
Downstream of Kariba, the river level fluctuates quite quickly, about a meter or so up and down during the day. So unfortunately we run aground on a sandbank in the middle of the river that wasn't obvious previously, which is quite unnerving because we have to get out in the middle of a croc infested river to push the boat. Our plan in Chirundu was to chill and fish. We've done exactly that. First night we had a crazy storm in the rooftop tent which held up very well. We had 99% dryness, which is pretty good. Got up in the morning, got up quite late actually after a long drive the day before. We chilled most of the morning, had some nice breakfast, put up our tent, got the fishing gear ready, got into the chilling and fishing mood, enjoyed the sunset over the Zambezi River with the Zambezi to wash that down, and went to bed, had a restful sleep, no crazy thunderstorms. Got up nice and early in the morning, down to the jetty at 6:30 after a very brief breakfast. Had to wait for the guide who wasn't there. A little bit of a timing problem there, but we only lost about 20 minutes. It's been a great day on the river. Just one day on the river. Fantastic tiger fishing. Caught a really nice sized tiger right off the bat really early this morning. And the rest of the day was just really nice being on the river, out there fishing all the way until sunset, and absolutely magical to experience the sunset as well. The river downstream of Kariba is, well, it changes quite rapidly. The level goes up and down very quickly. In a matter of a couple of hours it can go a meter or more down and go a meter or more up. So the sandbanks and the depth of the channel changes very significantly. So our guide unfortunately misjudged one of those. He's a bit new on the river apparently, and we did get stuck on a sandbank, which is quite scary because we're in the middle of the Zambezi River, and the guide and myself had to jump out and pull the boat off the sandbank back into the channel where we could get the motors going again. And obviously this river is full of massive crocodiles and a lot of hippos as well. So that was a little bit uncomfortable, but you know, all's well that ends well. We had some good fishing, we had a great sunset cruising back to our campsite. So it was a really wonderful day. So it's nice to be sitting out here again. We've got the fire going. It's probably 32 or 33 degrees right now. We don't need the fire, but we're camping. So when you camp, you must have a fire. That's camp rules. So yeah, it's been a fantastic day, man. Looking forward to Mana Pools tomorrow. We're gonna pack up tomorrow morning, and I am stoked to be going to Mana Pools finally. It's been on the list for at least a decade, so really looking forward to that, and that's the plan for the next couple of days. As a basic precaution, we're going to call it an early night. We never go to bed this early. We hardly even eat supper this early. But tonight's the night. We're in Mana Pools. We're in the wilderness, in an unfenced campsite. We've got a pride of lions not too far off. And so we're going to take the sensible route and go to bed early tonight.